Talk Show. I'm your host, Will Bagley, and let's get started. Before we get started this week, I would like to say this week we've got a packed episode today because politics is heating up across the country and, believe it or not, in the state of Kentucky. And in the state of Kentucky, right now, it is in the middle of one of the Republican Party's most eternal fights going on across the nation in Republican primaries across, America. Now, the Republican Party is facing a serious internal battle, and the epicenter of the fight is right here in Kentucky. President Trump came to the state and campaigned against incumbent Congressman Thomas Massie, and I was there. So that was an amazing event. And on the state, Donald Trump called Thomas Massie, and I quote, complete and total disaster. As everybody knows, Trump and Massie do not get along because Thomas Massie's held up a lot of President Trump's agenda. That's strong. Even for political standards, Donald Trump is no stranger to being strong when it comes to political language. But it doesn't stop. President also officially endorsed the candidate running against Thomas Massie, Ed Gellrain, and in the primary coming up in May 19th. And Ed Gellrain is a former Navy SEAL and current farmer in northern Kentucky, or in the 4th District. This is a major setup and question for Republican voters of will we go with President Donald Trump and try to help make America great again, or will we continue to have Thomas Massie to hold up the president's agenda? And right now we do have a narrow majority, so we need every congressional vote the Republican Party can possibly get. For years, President's endorsement has been seen as the golden ticket of endorsements for candidates all across the nation. And the Republican candidates backed by him often dominate their races. But Thomas Massie, in a unique case, he's been in Congress for years now, since 2012. He has been a strongly libertarian, conservative, as he likes to call himself, following many other prior Republicans. And many voters in Kentucky now know him personally. So I want to ask you, has Trump's endorsement remained unstoppable, or has Massie built a great enough coalition to make the MAGA not as strong? Let me know what you think about that in the comments. Now let's shift the international stage. Now let's get into the international stage. President Donald Trump made headlines again when discussing the situation with Iran. He claimed that around 90% of Iranian missiles have been neutralized, which is a great thing for the United States because that means we are in less danger right now. Essentially declaring what sounded a huge success for our military operations in the region to neutralize the dictatorship there. And in other words, presenting this situation almost like a mission accomplished moment. But here is where things get even more interesting. Even while claiming victory, Trump also argued that the United States cannot leave the region yet to stabilize it, most likely. So politically, he's walking a very delicate line. He could either be seen as a 2007 Bush, or 2003, or a 2008 Obama, which is basically the same thing, or continue to do what he's done his entire political career and put America first and make it great again. On the other hand, his has, always been no more, and that is what Trump's done. And even military generals in the U.S. right now are saying that we're weeks ahead of military targets, so this is going great for America. but sadly we have lost 6 U.S. service members. May they rest in peace. And also we got to see Dr. Oz in action as there was a medical emergency while Trump was giving a speech. Dr. Oz got up there and he helped save that woman. So that's really great for her. While at the event, this event also Trump's economic successes while being our president. Trump is pushing Trump X Rex, an idea focused on lowering drug prices. His strategy involves economic pressure against large pharmaceutical companies in an effort to bring down prices for me and you for medicines that we may need. At the same time, he's been repeating what some are calling the no tax trifecta. That includes no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, and no tax on overtime, which has been a huge success, by the way, as now, after the end of the fiscal year, those taxes are in, which means no tax on overtime is starting to kick in, and no tax on tips and Social Security. So more money is going into your wallets to make sure you can buy what you need, in the federal government, who doesn't know what to do with your money, right? Because they be spending a lot of money. I'm personally one of the people that believe that we the people know how to spend money better than the federal government. And also, these policies aim at the American workers and retirees have money. So that's an amazing thing. And here's where it gets local for my Kentucky listeners. Trump specifically mentioned that these policies could benefit around 800,000 seniors in the state of Kentucky. That's a huge number for the people here in Kentucky, and policies affecting Social Security are always a big deal for our state. Before we wrap up, I have 2 more things I'd like to. First of all, Jake Paul was at the event, and Trump called him he's called of the party, and he was begin 3, 2, 1. And before we wrap up, I have just 2 more things I'd like to get to, which is first, Jake Paul was at the event. Trump teased that the idea YouTube star and boxer Jake Paul could have a political future someday. Now that not a boxer and a YouTuber to have a political career, but it's Jake Paul. Alright, that's all I'm gonna say. But it raises an interesting question. Is the Republican Party slowly becoming the influencer party that's focused on the followers, on the Instagram, Facebook, and all of that? More politicians are appearing on podcast channels and social media platforms more than ever before. And the big question is, could actually help them connect with Gen Z voters, as I can even speak for Gen Z as a person in Gen Z. Yeah, social media is a really great to connect, and especially in states like Kentucky. The next thing I'd like to do is Trump talking about the Senate candidates while being here in Kentucky, and here in just a second I'll play the clip of all 3 U.S. candidates being recognized by President Trump. And let's just say Trump did show Congressman Barr just a little bit more love than the other candidates, but there was no official endorsement yet. Or he may not endorse, we have no clue, because Donald Trump has his own political mind, but here's the clip.
Some of the amazing warriors who, unlike Massey, stood up for the working people of this Commonwealth, this great group of people, the people that built the nation, including a wonderful man who's been with me all the way, Congressman Andy Barr. All the way. He's a good guy and a warrior. Your former Kentucky Attorney General, Daniel Cameron. Daniel, thank you. Thank you, Daniel. CEO of Morris Industries, a good man, Nate Morris. Nate, thank you.
As always, politics moves fast, and these stories are just of major developments happening right now in our nation. Before we end today's episode, I want to leave you here with a verse from the Bible, Joshua 24:15, which says, "And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom ye will serve. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." Thank you for watching the Will Tonk Show. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share the show so we can continue to make America great again, to continue to continue to spread 100% real news and 0% fake news. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode. God bless, and here's some photos from the event.